my first day back from Austin, Texas, and today it's Saturday, and I started the day off by doing a podcast, with a lovely girl who asked me to be a guest on her podcast, and it's called Essentially M, and MEMM. So she's her name is Emily, and her site, her podcast, and her whole thing is all about the magicalness of life and how, with your mindset, you manifest all that you are and all that can be in your life. So she discovered me on Instagram, but before that, she was a big Kelly's Bake Shop fan, or has been a big Kelly's Bake Shop fan. And then for the past year or so, she's been following me and witnessed this kind of transformation, this way that I have been, I'm going to say, coming out, and how I've been talking so much more and discussing life and discussing my transformations and the things that I'm going through with all of you guys. And she was captivated. So I was honored because more and more people are reaching out to me to ask, really poignant questions. And one is like, when your business got started, were you this way of manifesting your business, manifesting your life? Or do you think that by being in business, it brought it forward? And really, yes. So by being in business, I did some really heavy, deep digging into me and what was bringing me joy, and also, though, witnessing how being in business and how I was with my daughter and in business relationships and with staffing and with myself, the relationship with myself, I was witnessing how I needed to go deeper, and I was becoming more and more of the awareness. I was evolving through this spiritual process of being this awareness, of being aware of my triggers and how life was affecting me, and how business was affecting me, and how Aaron and I were going off into a whole different world with our mom and daughter relationship, and in a way that wasn't necessarily healthy for us to sustain business or, sustain mom-daughter. We were almost feeling like there was a way that we had to choose either or, because life was getting difficult and we were having a hard time communicating and stuff. So, we've gone through this time, like a number of years now, where we've gone into coaching, we've gone into counseling, we've gone into therapy, we've surrounded ourselves with incredible teams of people that have helped to elevate us. And also too, we've decided that, we're not afraid of growing and learning and evolving as to who we need to be as human beings to become all that we need to be in business and in a mom and daughter relationship. So, we've done retreats, we've done yoga retreats, we've done online courses. I've done ayahuasca. Aaron and I together, and with Ken as well too, my husband, we did the Dr. Joe Dispenza 1-week advanced retreat with him in Niagara Falls, New York last year in September 2019. And that was so epic. Like that to me changed everything in my life. To me, there was actually more of a transformation and better tools for myself than when I went and did ayahuasca down in Costa Rica. Very different things, but sometimes too, I can say very similar, because the goal is to get in touch with and touch your soul, get reconnected with your soul. This is our goal of all of us right now. And we're recognizing this to eliminate the pain and suffering that we're going through in these transformations and these things that keep on coming to us, and in introspection and reflection, the things that we're doing every day. And we are trying to find ways to resolve this. So for myself, I recognized years ago, and this would be about 5 years ago, living in a fear-based mentality versus a love-based mentality. And we're either in love or we're in fear. And when we live in fear, we make some really bad decisions. We tend to act out with resentment, with anger, with jealousy, with envy, with competition. But when we live in love, there's this element of living in a surrendering state and just allowing life to happen. And what's happening with social media now is we are so bombarded with the plastic posing lifestyles, and we can't help but compare ourselves to what others have, what others appear to have, how others appear to live. And we only see the good stuff. And it deeply affects us because comparison is something that is a real deal breaker for our hearts. When we compare, we go into this, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough. Who am I to try to even compete with that? Who am I to even be that person? Who wants to even hear from me? Who wants to hear my voice? Who wants to hear what I have to say? We go into that spiral down there because our ego is here now to try protect us, right, guys? So this is what our ego is here to do from centuries upon centuries upon centuries of our DNA that's built up in here. Our ego is here to protect us. And as soon as it sees and feels that there's a danger, that there's a threat, it will go into any way possible to protect us. So, like I said, I've gone deep into this introspective world and digging deep with books and, like Gabor Mate, when the body says no, such a great book for how disease manifests and things that happen to us in our childhood, adverse conditions in that, are we wanting our mom's love or our dad's love? What are we living our whole lives through? What are we attracting to ourselves based on childhood issues that have not been rectified, that they haven't been recognized, they haven't been resolved? And when we don't have these situations resolved, these situations are going to keep on manifesting themselves in other ways. We're going to attract to ourselves things that don't serve us because we're still desperately looking for daddy's love, or we're still desperately looking for mom's love, or, we were abandoned as a kid, or all these things that happen to us that go, oh, okay, let's embed that into a pain body in our body. Let's put this down here. Let's make this liver full of emotions, and, let's hold it into our DNA. And this is what happens. These pain bodies get put into ourselves, and it ends up manifesting into disease and shitty situations, shitty relationships, man. We attract crap into our life. So this is my journey. And my journey is to be the best person that I can possibly be. It's my job to be the best person that I can be. It's my lifelong journey to evolve and become the best person, the best human that I can be. And that's all of our jobs. And when we step back and we actually recognize and pay attention to any negativity that comes out of us, be it if we're thinking negative or say negative or act negatively, we get a chance to step back and go, okay, so what haven't I fixed in my life yet? What haven't I addressed? What haven't I become aware of for this thing to keep on circulating through me? Like I've had myself trust issues my whole life, trust issues of men. I grew up in a very dysfunctional, alcoholic childhood. So I've got this, and with my dad, and he's been gone now for 25 years, or 24 years, whatever it is. But long story short, it still circulates through me, but I'm aware of this circulation. So this is stuff that I work on, and I go, whoa, So am I putting this father issue and this trauma issue from my childhood, this trigger? Where did I ever feel this before? Yeah, I felt this when I was 6 years old. Yeah, I felt this when I was 8 years old. Yeah. And I'm repeating it still in my 50s. This is the stuff that we're here to work on. And this is the stuff that we have to create, we have to manifest, we have to dream it, we have to wish it. And it's not something that just happens, like just that. It is something for us to work on consciously. So I consciously do meditation in the morning. I make space for that. I consciously make space for my meditation at nighttime. I constantly make space for my gratitude journaling. I constantly make space for maybe a half-hour podcast in the morning to start my day off right. I constantly and consciously make time to do any kind of workout that will elevate my heart rate for around 15 minutes, because I believe that the more energy I bring up into my soul, into my being, will help me create better downloads that come down to me. And I hence get better guidance. My intuition ties in and dials in at a higher level when I am in tune with the universe. This last 7 years of owning Kelly's Bake Shop has been monumentally large. And I'm so honored that Erin's doing this with me. And, our team, our incredible team of staff that are around us that are like just so good. Like we have such an amazing team right now. And my job now is to help others. So beyond the bake shop and beyond what my mission was to do that, and to allow people a place to enjoy and celebrate together in love and in connection, and with just like real life connections. Kids get to take their allergy friendly Kelly's treats to birthday parties and social events, and they don't have to worry about peanuts and eggs and dairy and gluten and all this other kind of crap that hurts their brains, like artificial food colors, So this has been my mandate. This has been my mission from day one. But now I get to go bigger. I get to go larger. And we're developing a media company right now that is going to allow me, and it's going to allow Erin to do this. And if you don't follow Cupcakes and Consciousness yet, you have to. Follow us on iTunes and on Spotify. And they're very real, raw conversations about our journey. I just posted one last week, and it's about what is really a normal relationship. And I get to talk about my marriage and my relationship with my husband and my relationship with myself. And it's raw. It's real. And it's for us to loosen the chains that bind us to conforming as to what life is supposed to be. It's bullshit. Life is supposed to be what you want to make it. You have the choice. You have the opportunity. You have the ability to be anything that you want to be. Anything. Put the possibilities out there and set the intentions for the most magnificent life you could ever imagine. And I hope you include me along the way, because I promise you we've got some big stuff happening for 2020. And our cookbook, our second location in Prince Edward County, all this stuff is happening. And it's got nothing but magic written across it. Talk to you guys soon.